Welcome everyone to the first review video for half-century concealment. We're happy to have you on board with us. We're going to talk today about our Glock 19. We've got a Gen 4 Glock 19, which is this one right here, and magazine is empty. Firearm has been cleared, as you can see, before we started. So this is the firearm that we're going to be talking about. It's our Glock 19 Gen 4. And we want to talk about the 7 essential upgrades that we've done to it. Now, these are our upgrades. You might have other upgrades that you've done to yours that you think are more essential than ours. Feel free to comment in the section below. Let us know what your thoughts are as you watch our video, if you agree with us, or if you feel that the list should be different. And then let's have a conversation about that. So, by the way, everything we're going to talk about in this video today, there'll be links below. Now, YouTube disclosure does not allow us to put links for firearm parts or firearms in the video, but there'll be a link to our website. And on our website, we have a page where we'll have all of these links, including, by the way, this awesome t-shirt I found on Amazon. It's from the great people over at Grunt style. And really awesome distressed American flag t-shirt. Actually comes in a bunch of different color combinations. I just kind of really dig the black. So if you're interested, we'll have a link also below and on our website for that. So back to our Glock 19. So we went ahead and decided that Glock 19 was the firearm that we wanted to have. It's our home defense firearm at this moment. We're in the process of building a Glock 17 that will also be a home defense, and then maybe this will be a little bit of a concealed carry piece as well, if I ever lose weight, hopefully. It's not easy. We'll go ahead and talk more about that Glock 17. We're custom building that one from scratch. But if you look at this one, this really does look stock. And that was kind of the point. We decided, like I said, we wanted to have a Glock 19. We found this one in this awesome bronze color. So it's really stuck out past the, right next to the black one. So we opted for this one. And yes, I know we could have stippled and Cerakoted and done all that stuff. But that's really starts getting expensive. You got to ship it out, wait a few weeks to get it back. We didn't want to go through all that. So we just decided to go ahead and go with the bronze color and just really think it pops nicely. The other thing, so we got our Glock 19 and we started taking it out to the range, put about 300-400 rounds to it, and then started realizing, there really are some upgrades that we want to do to this firearm. It's not out of the box exactly the way we would like it. So we went ahead and the first thing we did is we changed the sights. We went ahead, we were looking for night sights for starters. We didn't have a light on the piece yet, and we opted to go with the Ameriglow Tritium. These are their night sights. I believe this is the GL 624, something like that. But if you look, and I think it stands out pretty decent on the red background there, we've opted for it's like a yellowish green color. It's got the tritium dot in the center of it. This thing really pops at night. If we turn off all the lights, I'm not going to do it because I don't think it'll come out well on video, but this really just stands out and just gives you a wonderful point of reference at the tip of your firearm, which is extraordinarily needed in a time of distress. But especially if you're in the dark or in a dimly lighted situation. But this really pops out. I believe tritium has a half-life of like 10-15 years or somewhere in that range. So we expect these are going to last for quite some time. For the backs, we went with basically the solid instead of going with the dot system, and went with the little bar at the bottom. And I don't know how well I can line this up for the video here. I think that might be okay there. But this really lines up well at the range. Actually helped me improve my accuracy a little bit with it. And just really like it a lot better over the stock sights. I actually went ahead and learned how to put the sights on myself. If you take them to a gunsmith, probably charge you anywhere from $50 to $100. The sights themselves are only $60. So rather than pay somebody about what the sights are worth, I actually went ahead and bought the tools and learned how to do it myself. Bought the gauges, measured everything on the sides here so that one side would be equal to the other. Putting this on was really easy. It's basically, it's one screw, blue lock tied it on, and this really isn't a difficult process if you're willing to learn and take on the challenge yourself. And if you're not comfortable with that, I don't advise doing it. Please take it to a local gunsmith and have them put the sights on for you. Just telling you what we did. Next, we went ahead and wanted to do something about the little opening at the bottom. And the thing was that we were able to kill two birds with one stone with this Magpul Magwell. The Magpul Magwell, we've got a little bit of an extra lip. And by the way, I'm actually one of the guys that likes the finger grooves. It's a personal preference. You might not, I really do. But what happens is this Magwell doesn't really stick out too far. My finger's really right on the edge down there. But it does go ahead and just give me that extra little layer of support. So I get the added benefit of that. The Magwell, by the way, is attached by just one little screw in the back. Also blue lock it on. Really easy to do. By the way, we're not allowed to show you how we install things on YouTube on a firearm. So we are going to make 3 extra videos that we're going to put on our website. There'll be links below to them, and they'll actually show you how we went ahead and put on the things, installed the things that we're gonna talk about. Because we're also gonna talk about connector, we're gonna talk about the slide stop, we're gonna talk about the slide lock lever, and we'll have videos on how we did all these things on our website, so you can reference to it there. And if you want to see instructional, you can on a firearm there. We'll have that for you. So back over here, the big thing was though, there's opening back here. Well, the Magpul Magwell goes ahead and gives you an angled up into the magazine well, gives you a guide so that whenever you're inserting the magazine, no matter how you insert this magazine without even looking, I mean, I could close my eyes and this would probably still work, and the magazine will still be guided in, no matter how far back well, maybe that far back, but pretty much as far back as I can take it, and it'll just guide it straight in for me. Really important if you're ever in a situation where you're having to put in a second magazine. So you eject your first magazine, you're in a tensible situation, you're having to put in your second magazine. Well, you don't really have to think about it. It just pops right in. You don't have to really measure it, I guess is the best way to say it. Just, you know what, anything that can make a stressful situation easier, I'm all for it. $25 is what we paid for this Magpul Magwell, straight out of magpul.com. Next thing we did was we enhanced the slide stop. And what I mean by enhancing the slide stop is, let me flip this over this way. Back over here, the regular slide stop doesn't have this little ledge in it. And let me show you a close-up picture of the one that we installed so you get an idea of what I'm talking about. So that's what it looks like after we put it on. The original one that came with the Glock, I just, you know what, wasn't really all that comfortable with it. And whenever I tried to bring it down, my finger kept slipping on it. It wasn't as easy to function as I would like for it to have been. I guess that's really what it comes down to at the end. And it's personal preference. You might think that it's perfect just the way it is. For me, I thought that for $10, I could replace this piece here, and it just makes my life a lot easier. And now when I need to release it, it's this tiny little ledge that all I have to do is just run my finger on it. Now, the great thing also, it doesn't get hung up on anything. It doesn't get stuck on anything. This still fits in a holster comfortably. It doesn't obstruct in any form, way, or manner. So that's the other aspect of it. It gives me benefit and it doesn't get in the way, no matter what. Next, we took a look at the slide lock lever. The slide lock lever on the Glock basically is straight down on both sides. It's positioned right here on both sides of the firearm. I was just, the grip part of it just wasn't working well for me. So what we did is I looked online, found that you can put one that has an angle to the sides of it, kind of a basically almost like a staircase design. 3 steps down is really how it's designed. Here's a close-up picture so you understand. So you see how it basically has this 3-step design coming down. So now I can go ahead and real comfortably and real easy and real simply just grab onto the sides, and whenever I need to remove the slide, I'll pull down there. Let's make sure that's, boom, done. Simple as that. For a lot of people, the original one is just fine. For me, it just wasn't working. It just wasn't working as well as I would have liked for it to, for me personally. And same thing for what was basically a $10 or $12 part by Deltac. Really made sense for me to replace that. And like I said, we're gonna have videos on our website that show you exactly how I did that. So what's one of the biggest gripes that people have on their Glock? Out of the box, trigger's not all that great. I mean, it's the reality. The gun is the most reliable thing on earth probably, but the trigger's not all that great out of the box. So everybody's trying to figure out what to do. Do I replace the trigger? Do I put in an Apex trigger, an Overwatch Precision, an Arsenal Democracy? Actually, that's probably what we're gonna end up, their switch triggers, what we're probably gonna end up putting in our Glock 17. If they ever come back in stock, I've got to reach out to those folks. Good people over there at Arsenal Democracy. But I want to go ahead, what I wanted to go ahead and see is what's a more inexpensive way that I could make this trigger better. And we took a look at replacing the connector. And the connector is just one little bar that's inside of the trigger housing. And what after some research and after looking around, we decided to go with Lone Wolf with their 3.5-pound triggers. Now, they've got 3 different connectors for the trigger. All 3.5 pounds, and I really wasn't able to figure out from the description which one I was gonna like better. Each one's maybe about 20 bucks, but they have a kit that for about $30, you get all 3, or maybe each one's like 15, I can't recall. But for $30, you get all 3, and you get a 6-pound trigger spring. So I replaced the 6-pound trigger spring. That took maybe a little less than a pound off of the trigger pull. And I went ahead and after trying out the different 3.5-pound connectors, went with the Target connector. It's still not exactly how I want it. And please feel free, leave me info in the comments below if you have really good trigger information that you want to go ahead and share with myself and with our viewers. But I went ahead and at this moment, right now in here, is the Target 3.5-pound trigger connector. And basically, let me show you up close. Let me put my finger on it. There's a little bit of a take up. Right there, hit the wall. Break, very audible. And now, come back. Reset right there. Boom. It's very audible. Very tactile, actually works really well for me at this moment. Like I said, not perfect, but a heck of a lot better than stock. For $30, really well worth the upgrade. Next, I'm actually going to probably try the Ghost Rocket or the Ghost Evo Elite to see how much better I can get it with one of those connectors. I've got a feeling that one of those might actually end up being exactly what I'm looking for. With that said, I'm probably still going to change the trigger itself to something that's a flat face or something else. Not quite certain, but it's something we're gonna tinker with. And that's part of the fun about a Glock, is you get to tinker with it. You get to do little things that aren't gonna cost you an arm and a leg, and worst case scenario, might make your firearm just that much better. It's definitely wonderful to have all these accessories available on the Glock 19. Next, we finally decided on a light. Now, we ended up going with the Olight Mini. So let me go ahead and take it off of here for a second. Went with the Olight Mini. It's a 400 lumen. Let me not shine it directly on the camera. And it has 2 modes. I can flick it and it automatically turns on and stays on. Flick it, turn it off. Or I can just press it down. And if I press it down, it'll stay on as long as I keep it pressed down. Once I depress it, it'll turn off. Installation on a Glock 19 is the easiest thing. You've got this little rail right down here. Just go ahead and slide it in, attach it onto the rail, and then this little clip here, just pull it down, whoops, just pull it down, and that's it. It's on. And you've got this awesome little light that doesn't take up a lot of room. Most companies that make holsters for the Glock 19 are gonna make a holster with that fits the Olight Mini. 400 lumens, spectacular. And by the way, if you're gonna have your firearm on your night table, put it in a holster, Kydex holster, something that'll protect, that'll have some sort of a trigger guard. If you get startled in the middle of the night, the last thing you wanna do is, as you're grabbing your firearm, have it discharge. If you're keeping one round in the chamber, you don't want that right out of the gate. Not a good way to start what's already a stressful situation. Manufacturers of holsters that make them for lights are going to have the Olight as one of the options for the Mini. So we went ahead, we opted for that. It's an $80 light. It's not a very expensive light, and like I said, it doesn't take up a lot of room, and it works really well if you ever want to holster this firearm. The last thing we did is we cheated a little bit. We talked about maybe stippling it, but we really like this bronze finish. And we did, like I said earlier, we didn't want to deal with sending it away, having it stippled, Cerakoted, 3 weeks to come back, deal with the FFL, all that other fun stuff. So I'm okay with the grip that's on this Glock 19, on this Gen 4. The grip is comfortable. It's not abrasive. Really actually like it. I'm okay with it. We are on our 17 going to get it stippled, and we've got a wonderful stipple job that we actually already have done. Good people over at Brazen Firearms, and we'll talk about more about that when we do that video. But what we did with this one is we cheated a little bit. And at 2 specific spots on the firearm where we wanted a little bit more texture, we used skateboard tape. Now, the only thing about skateboard tape is you got to buy like a 5-foot roll, so you're going to have some left over. But skateboard tape, we put skateboard tape right down here at the bottom, and then we put skateboard tape over here at the thumb press. So when we go ahead and grip our firearm, we've got skateboard tape holding us firmly down here, creating traction, and right here on my thumb rest, I've got skateboard tape as well. So I didn't put it on the other side because I'm not ambidextrous. I'm never going to really rest my finger there at any point. The only reason I'm going to rest my finger there is to not put it on the trigger. And that's basically what it comes down to. So for $5, went ahead and did a tiny little upgrade here. What did we spend on all these upgrades? $225 approximately. All right, plus maybe a little shipping on some of the items that didn't have free shipping. But that was it. For $225, we upgraded our trigger, we put a light on, we upgraded our sights, we put in some user-friendly creature convenience features. We got a magwell on there, which I find to be much safer than having that opening in the back. And we went ahead and did the tape. So these are the 7 things. Now, like I said earlier, maybe your 7 is different. These are the 7 that we find essential and the 7 that we think really do make this a much better firearm. For $225, we definitely think it was worth the money that we spent on it. Now, like I said, if you feel that we should have done something else or that we should have included an 8th, a 9th, or a 10th thing, which we're probably going to do anyways, let us know in the comment section below. Shameless plug, please like and subscribe. We really want to grow our audience. Hit the little bell at the bottom so you can be notified whenever new videos are coming out. We look forward to sharing wonderful information with you. We've got an agenda lined up with just great information to put out here on YouTube for you in the coming weeks, in the coming months, and really want to make sure that you don't miss out on any of it. So please, thank you very much for sharing this time with us. Support your local animal shelters, and if you are going to bring a pet into your home, please adopt. Have a great week.